On YouTube, this is the LA Prepper, and we're gonna do my least favorite gosh darn thing today, which is fix a flat on a bicycle. I picked one up yesterday, and it's gonna be super fun. So, step number one, turn your bicycle upside down. Since my bicycle has this horrid little knob here, it refuses to sit nicely when I turn it upside down, so I have to put it on something. So I've got it on, let's get that light off, save the battery. I've got it on some empty water bottles. First thing you're gonna do, go ahead and disconnect the brake over here. Otherwise you're never gonna get it off. Then you're going to loosen your quick release, unscrew it a few times. If you don't have a quick release, you will be getting the wrench out. So, and let me actually get a bucket real quick because I don't want to be squatting over here. Alright, now we are going to wrestle this thing out of here, get my other glove on real quick, and maybe I'll see if we can give you a better... Whew, this fell over there. Better view of this. So we're just going to kind of rotate the derailleur back, lift this up, and then kind of wrestle it out of here without getting a whole bunch of grease on our fingers. Alright, so now that we are... Maybe the light's better like that. Alright, now that we have the tire out, by the way, it is convenient to mark it before you go through the ordeal, and I have already marked it with the Sharpie right there. I don't know if you can tell, but there's actually a circle in Sharpie right there. Anyways, so let's... And these hybrid rims are just a dog to get off. I mean, they're actually a little bit less aggravating to get off than they are to put on. That's the main reason that I don't like messing with this stuff, besides the fact that I'm always suspect that the patches are not gonna last, although I think my last one's doing all right. But anyways, let's go ahead and get to it. Got my little plastic tire irons here. They are 50 strong, made in the USA. They're plastic, like I said, which is a little bit concerning to me. I wonder if I could print some. That would be kind of an interesting operation. Go ahead and take the cap to the valve stem off, because that'll be coming out. Man, this thing is just all sorts of gunk in there. I really should clean this, but not today. Today I already have enough of a headache with this deal. So what we're gonna do, let's see if I can get you a slightly better angle over here, is we're going to put this under the rim. We're gonna lock it on the spoke like that. And we're going to come around. In fact, maybe I will go on this side. And then we're gonna grab the next one. Alright, so that's one to stay up on its own. And if it's not coming out with the prime, just try to kind of lift it up a little bit. And then hopefully you can take this one out. Sometimes it helps to have 3, but most of the time you can get away with 2. And then after we get the bead off, you can kind of just... I would recommend wearing gloves. It's not... You're probably not going to cut yourself, but just to keep the brake grease off your hands. And we will come around and just work this off like so. Of course, being careful when we take it off not to sort of de-separate, yes, that is a word, de-separate the tube from the tire before we take note of where the hole is, because that would be slightly aggravating. So now that we have that off, we need to go ahead. Usually you can get the rim off the bottom one just by kind of pulling it. You might want to use the pry bar, the tire irons, but usually it'll come right off, so we'll set the rim over here. Go back and find our location of the hole. I was riding home and I heard this psst, 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 psst. Every time the tire would come up, I would hear it just squawk at me, and then I found a piece of glass that I pulled out, and what's super fun is that I pulled the piece of glass out and it proceeded to fall right on the floor, so I have no idea where this... I have a rough idea of where this piece of glass is on my floor. God, this hole is just... I can't believe... I can't see it. Wow, that is unbelievable. A little more light in here. Oh, maybe I'll open the door. There we go. I don't know what is going on with this thing, but I'll take off my gloves real quick. I know I could pump some air into it, but you don't want to patch it when there's air in it, so I don't know why. I don't know what's going on with this, but in fact, I don't even necessarily need to take it all the way out. God, is it just that little thing right there? No? It's kind of unbelievable that I know there is a hole here, but it doesn't... Okay. Well. God damn. Cannot believe. I guess I will have to put some air in it. That's a little annoying. Because I cannot see where this hole is. Usually you look at the tube, you can kind of tell, but... Oh, there we go. Yeah, man, that thing is tiny. Go ahead and mark it real quick. So just to give you an idea of how small this little hole looks. Oh. Come on, you piece of garbage. God, you just will not work with me. Come on, you freaking piece of garbage. God, this is aggravating. Come on. Focus. Alright, now of course it's gone again. There we go, right there. See, like that you can barely see it, but then when you sort of open it up a little bit, there it is. So, go ahead and turn the light back off. Go ahead and mark this. Just so we don't sand this off too much, I'll kind of mark it a little outside as well. So, the next steps in the process, which I tend to botch, to be honest sometimes, just because I get the patch. Wow, and it's really loud with that door open. So, let's go ahead and talk about my materials. We have our glue, we have some sandpaper, and we have some patches. We have nice little round patches, and for bigger, nastier tears, we have, wow, this guy, I got all sorts of patches in this deal. We have bigger patches, round patches, and we have an oblong patch. So, I think always get this wrong. I think I will actually use a bigger patch since I have a boatload of patches. But, let's see here. Get off, really. Spread glue thinly over the area in the same size as the patch to be used. When the glue is completely dried, remove the foil backing from the patch. Taking care not to touch the patch itself, apply the patch to the glued area. Use any blunt instrument to apply pressure over the entire surface of the patch for best adhesion. Wow, I didn't realize we were supposed to wait for the glue to dry, to be honest. I always thought kind of put it on when the glue was wet. When the glue has completely dried, remove the foil backing from the patch. It doesn't seem right. Glue is completely dried. I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest. I thought part of the whole purpose was the glue was to glue the patch on. Apply the patch to the glued area. Oh man, now I gotta research this because have I been patching tires wrong this whole time? See, this is what I thought would be a little more reasonable. It says, put the glue over the patch, wait till the glue to set. Many glues must dry until they are no longer tacky, and then place the patch on the mostly dry glue and hold in place for a few minutes. Yeah, and I actually do have self-adhesive patches, but... Okay, so what we're going to do is it's probably going to turn into a second video, but at any rate, going to get... Oh, if I just had a couple of things that are sort of flat, like a cutting board... And, oh, come on. And a seat for my windsurf brand? Sure, why not? This will all make sense very shortly. Put that like that. Be perfect. Okay, so what we're going to do now is get our sandpaper and just rough up this area because it's going to help the glue stick and help the patch stick. And of course you always get a hole right where the darn this little ridge is from the seam of when they made the tire. So maybe I can sort of put this over here and give it a little. And of course it's kind of awkward to sand it. That should be good until it's a little rougher. And just to make sure it's nice and clean, I'm going to get some rubbing alcohol. Because we really want a nice prepared patch area. We'll get just a little bit of rubbing alcohol. We'll kind of do that real quick, and you can see I'm getting a little bit of gunk on here, so we are getting just a little residue off. There's also the tires, the inner tubes come with talc, like talcum powder, baby powder on them to kind of help just give a little bit of give in the tire when you want it to. You want the tire to kind of be able to move like just little small amounts when it flexes, and the talcum powder helps with that. All right, so now that our patch area is dry, I'm gonna put a little bit of glue on. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on. So let's just kind of you don't want to put an ungodly amount on. I probably put a little bit too much on, but you know, it's okay. So I'm gonna let this, in fact, let me just kind of spread this a little better. There we go. Yeah, it's probably too much, but that's okay. I'm going to let this dry for a few minutes. We're going to come back and finish the patch.